Integra Type S dampening module. I said I was gonna put it on, so here we go. Step number one, have a Civic Type R. If you don't have a Civic Type R, this doesn't make any sense. All right, so there's some videos that tell you you have to remove this bench, but there's some that have the easy way. I think Point by Patrol does a really good and funny video on how to do it the easy way. So I like doing the easy way. I think the first thing is you have to lift up on this and remove the 10mm bolt. So let me do that. Yep, sure enough, it was right there. So this lifts up pretty easily, and it's that bolt right there. So I took that out. Next step is in the back, you'll see this cover and it has another 10mm bolt. So you just remove that real easy. Have it thrown right there. Yeah, then you just have to remove the airbag cover. I just put my fingers at the top. I slid the seatbelt out the way, and then it came off real easy. And that exposes the module. So for the module, you just you unplug that connector there. Then you've got the two 10mm bolts that are holding it in place. So I'm just gonna replace that real quick. All right, both the bolts are out. So I'm gonna just pull it out now and replace it with the Integra Type S module. Here we go. So I just reversed the steps. It was easy, it was quick. You don't have to remove that bench seat. That's the biggest thing. Real easy. Let's go for a ride now. Let's do some comparisons. I'm excited to try this. Okay, driving impressions. So I just left my neighborhood and I'm starting out in comfort mode, and I can tell you, I immediately tell a difference. This is riding like a different car. It's very smooth, very supple. I haven't gone over any bumps yet, so I'm gonna go to where it's a little bit more bumpy, but it's definitely changed the dynamic. I think one complaint that I hear is that the immediacy of the steering goes away. It's not like they're slack, it just feels a little lighter. That's also because I normally drive an individual and I'm not used to driving in comfort. So I'm going to stick to the standard modes and then move up from there. So from here I'll do sport. But yeah, the car, it looks like it's a little bit more floaty. It's definitely more comfortable. Like if your goal is to enjoy this as a daily driver, yeah, I'm floating. It will deliver that in spades. It's a worthy upgrade just for that. Because it's the opposite of over dampened. It's a more luxurious ride, absolutely, without a doubt. Yeah, I'm just kind of turning a little bit just to see how the chassis responds with this dampening. It's still responsive. I can only imagine as I go up, it's gonna be still, again, responsive. I think the Type R dampening module is great because it's funny. It's over dampened and you're having fun and you realize you're in something special. And that's why I wanted to keep it until I got into the track. And then once I got on the track, I said, this will kill me. All right, let's take this turn here on the comfort setting and see how the car does. Yeah, I'm floaty. I'm still confident though. The car's still very planted. This is a little uneven surface. Let's see how the car does here. I could transfer the weight very easily in this mode. So if I want to do like a Scandinavian flick or something, it's much easier with how this is set up. Now here's a really big bump up here, so let's see how it does. I'm gonna go over. Wow. Yeah, way more supple. So that's cool. Let's bring it up into sport mode. Let's tighten it up a little bit. Here we are in sport. Yeah, again, much more doable. Much more compliant. It's like little bit above what comfort is with the Type R module. Still a little floaty, a little bit. Check the roll. I mean, the car is still immediate. Can't really push here because I think this, is that a Rogue? I think is a little nervous on these turns. But yeah, for city roads, it's definitely more compliant. Steering still feels immediate. Yeah, this is way more compliant. This road would have used to kick my rear, dude. Like, you can feel every imperfection. That K5 is flooring it. All right, I'm gonna turn around up here, and then I'm gonna need to put it in plus R mode, because that's gonna be the key there. Time for plus R mode. Yeah, plus R mode is actually really doable now. I see why people get this. Totally get it. Now, I'm on stock springs. I don't have any aftermarket springs. If you haven't been following my channel, I'm doing this because driving this on the track with the stock module unsettled the car for me. And it's just over dampened. I mean, I was gonna keep it until I experienced it on track. It really wasn't that bad for me, but having actually done multiple track days, I recognize that it does have a limit, at least for the track that I drive on. So I had to do this module. Yeah, this is more livable. Like, way more livable. These Texas back roads are almost things of nightmare. And I could literally leave it on plus R mode and drive daily now, and I think that's the thing. I usually love firm and sporty rides. I found myself not wanting to leave the car in the stiffest suspension with the stock module. I rarely ever did. I did it just for, again, shock value. So I won't know the full performance till I get it on track. I'm gonna bring the other module with me my next track day, just in case I really don't like it on track, but I don't think that's gonna be the case. Actually, let's go this way. But yeah, it's just not bouncy. I did this in preparation because I wanted to do a track day on June 20th, but I got some stuff that came up, so I couldn't. But I did get the car a little prepped. I have new brakes, not on the car yet. I got new rotors from EBC, and then the EBC blue stuff. They're racetrack pads I'm going to put on all four corners. And I got this module for that too. So I'm changing out my brake fluid again. This time I'm going to go with a Castrol SRF, just so I can change less in between from the RBF 660. And I had a transmission flush done, which was rather cheap. I think it was like 120 bucks. So shout out to Victor. So I'll show you that, my time at the shop when I was getting this done, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found it helpful. Do you miss yours?
Every day, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, every day. When I get one, I'm just like, man.
You're gonna be on TV, man.
I think so.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna be on the too, right? Yeah, I miss it like no other. Like, well, even the small thing, like 3 years in the parking lot to here, I'm like, man.
Yeah. They're good cars, right?
No, they're enjoyable, man. There's no way you can go wrong with one of these guys.
You should see some of the comments I get. In fact, even more recently, some guy was going on about how, you know, it's a waste and they're unreliable and they weigh 5,000 pounds and this and that. You're better off getting a Honda from the 90s. And it's like, well, I understand. It's, you know, old Hondas are great. Yeah, this, bro, like that's Uncle Rico syndrome, bro. Like if coach would only put me in the game, right? No, it's like we moved ahead, man. Like this is what it is.
But then it's like, I guess it depends like how much research you do. But then if you look into the Type R, like if you actually see the development of this Type R, you'll see that when Honda built this, they took out the EK9, they took out the NSX, they took out anything that was perfected, the Integra Type R. They test drove and they were like, okay, we like the suspension on the NSX, we like how the VTEC hits on the Type R, we like this. And then they built this vehicle. It's not just because, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a point to be proven.
Yeah, there's research behind it. There's development. Honda doesn't. When Honda builds a sports car, they're not playing around, right? They're doing everything necessary. They're looking at their past data. They're looking at the future. They're Formula One developing engines, right? I mean, it's not like I don't know, man. It's not just like Granny's shop, like just kind of throwing random stuff. Yeah, right.
Like they actually take the time to develop something that's going to be worth it. Right now I'm just letting it, like anything that's overflowing.
Any excess, yeah. So we got the transmission fluid changed and Vic helped me out. But here's that S2000R, it's looking good. Front bumper's off. He's saying that it got the AC lines coming there. I don't know, they're gonna finally get that going. It's clean as ever. In case you didn't see the last video.
The compressor. Mid bracket, this kind of works to sit, and then this guy's just gonna
Right under there.
Yeah, just kind of tuck them in here. So it'll sit right here. We'll have the lines going over there. And then the nice thing is, like, the old air pumps that these have are good, like thick wires, so we can use that for like power and stuff like that. So supply instead of running extra wires. Again, kind of trying to keep the goal of making it seem like that's where it belongs.
Yeah, yeah, factory, OEM, this is how it comes. Like if you were to go to Honda and say, hey, build me an S2000R, this is it. That's the vision. That's what I love about it. I'm trying to convince him to come out on track with it.
We're trying. We're
Yeah.
gonna get some AC and then to be ready for that Texas heat.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Heat out. Yeah. It's clean. Yeah, I appreciate you, Vic.
No, yeah, of course.
Thank you,
It was
man.
nice meeting you, man.
Yeah, always. They have a blue Type R in stock, but it is above MSRP. I believe our asking price. MSRP, asking price for the additives. But the Boost Blue is gorgeous. All right, Billy took care of me today, but we got John here. John, what's the words of wisdom?
Go 5 wins.
Yeah? Okay, there it is, you heard it. The man is full of wisdom, thank you. And other than that, I will have some more Z06 content. I did the Ron Fellows School, and I'm looking forward to posting that video, just compiling it all together. And again, I look forward to seeing you all in that next video. God bless you and your families. I'm out.